Yay!
Hey.
Hello. Hi
How's
again.
Yep. How's it going?
Morning.
Yep.
I guess hi again. Should say if you watched on my channel, I was live earlier this afternoon with Josh, but different channel over
Yeah.
on my channel. So hi again. If any of you guys watched the stream earlier today with Josh and I, but happy Friday, Adam.
Yeah. It's end of the work week.
And well, I was gonna say end of the month, actually, beginning of the month.
Yeah. It is the first.
And this is a black T-shirt gang. Yes,
Yeah.
indeed.
It's actually got the Zaku
Hey,
the unique glow one. I believe this is what this is.
okay.
Yeah.
Nice. Mine's America's National Parks
Hey, nice. That's a cool shirt though.
from my dad.
Yeah.
Thanks, Dad. But yeah, so hey, it's the beginning of October. Very nice. That means what do we got to look forward to in October? The High New, I would assume, is on the way. RG High New.
They so one of our distributors sent us some, so we should have those hopefully next week. We're only getting 40 from them, so the first 40 people that pre-ordered will get a shipping notification, and then the other allocation from Bluefin will fill the rest of the pre-orders. But I haven't gotten any word on them shipping them out yet. I'm sure they're probably sitting in a container ship off the coast there. And then the high grade Nightingales should arrive here. They're an hour away from us at a train yard, so hopefully they come pretty quickly. And
Perfect Grade Unleashed.
Perfect Grade Unleashed are in the same rail yard as those Nightingales, and then we'll have all our pre-orders filled for those. So finally, which is
that's going to be a good feeling for everyone, but I would say especially you probably.
Yeah. And then we should have in stock Unleashes hopefully middle of this month or later this month. So then we'll have some in stock finally too, where they're catching up little by little.
Nice.
Yeah. Got a call with Bandai today at 1:30, I think, or might be 2:30, to go over all the new stuff that's coming out, and then what are their order forms, which are a lot smaller than what they normally are. But I think that's because they don't want to be cutting as much stuff as they've been cutting. Make more of those items so they can fulfill the orders of those items. So.
Makes sense. Yeah, better to have more than they need than less than they need.
Yep.
Even still, I have a feeling that even still with the cats are fighting. Even still with the less on the order form, I have a feeling like it's maybe not going to be the end of that issue.
No, I'm sure it's been getting less and less. These are the smallest that I've seen. So. But like I said, I think it's just their production capacity and them foreseeing the demand for the items that are on there. So they want to make sure that they can make some. Unfortunately, Anthony, the Master Grade Gilgoog was not on there. Sorry.
Yes. And one thing too that I wanted to just mention, I'm sure that maybe this exact question is somewhere within all the questions we have for today, but it's one that I've seen. Where did I see it? Anyway, I've seen it a number of times recently. People talking about waiting for their pre-orders and stuff, and like people saying that they have they have an order that they've been waiting on forever, or like for months or 2 months or 6 months because of one item in their order hasn't arrived yet. So I know it's something that obviously we've talked about a number of times, but about the ability to split up orders if you're waiting for your order for a particular item or something like that. So can you just recap that again for anyone who's like got an order they've been waiting on for a long time?
Yeah, it's a good question, and it's in our frequently asked questions section. If you have something that you want to split, say like a pre-order item or a delay. I mean, figures are now notorious for delaying. I think Good Smile delayed something by a year. So if there's something that's in your order that's been delayed, just send us an email. We can definitely split the order for you and get out all the stuff that you have that's in stock. It's not a problem. Just email us to support@usagunstore.com. You're more than welcome to call us. If you call us and you get a busy signal, this means that both our lines are tied up with phone calls. Try again another like 5 minutes, and the line should be open. But yeah, just send us an email is probably your best thing. Let us know, hey, this is your order number, and you want to get out all the in stock items, and we'll get those shipped out to you.
Yeah. So I'd seen a couple people. I think it was on the Facebook post or something, but someone was saying like, I've been waiting on my order for 8 months for one particular item.
Yeah, I mean, everything it's interesting. So I know Japan has delayed some of her last releases by like a few days or a few weeks, but then they'll ship them out to us. The delay's not usually with Japan getting the items out. The delay's with the boat getting unloaded in California. There's ships out there that have been out there for like at least 2 or 3 months that are still waiting to get unloaded. So that's the problem is that part of the whole traveling from Japan to the United States that is holding everything up, is those ports there in California are just so backlogged. Because once it gets off the ship, a truck usually brings it over to Bluefin within 2 or 3 days, and then it does sometimes get a little delayed on its way to us. Like we were talking about it, it used to take a week from California to get here to Florida. Now it's taking sometimes up to 3 weeks. So, but the biggest delay is the port unloading the boats right now.
Yeah.
Yep.
Nothing we can do, unfortunately. But all right. So before we get into some more questions then for today, anything new that's come in recently or we have a giveaway?
We've gotten a few things recently, but they've just been pre-ordered, sold out. We got some of the Nightingales, from our other distributor, and then the Bandai ones, like I said, will hopefully be here next week. Some of those went out. We got in the hanger bases, another version of the hanger base finally in. The Fox Girl, I know a lot of people have been waiting for that. Those hopefully should be here next week.
Cool.
UPS picked them up from the dock here in Jacksonville, so they should be here, I would assume, Monday or Tuesday. What else came in? Pretty much just a lot of restock stuff. And I know a lot of people have asked me, why are you sending out restock emails? Well, because by the time we get everything unloaded and put away, a lot of the stuff is already sold out. And that's because people sign up for the email notifications when things are back in stock. Like we'll get 72 because they come in cases of 12. Most model kits do, or 24. We'll get 72 of a kit in, and within like 2 hours they're gone. So by the time we literally unload it, check it in, put it on the shelf, and I go to send out an email, half the stuff or more, there's just no point in sending that email. So if you are waiting on something, you want something in stock, please sign up for those email notifications, because those go out the minute it gets put in stock. It's a computer automated thing that sends you an email saying, hey, these are here, get them now. And I think that's probably why things are selling out fast too, because you got a few hundred people waiting on a specific kit, and then those emails go out, those people are jumping on it because they know it's going to take forever to get it again. So
I see Lucas McKinney in the chat. I'm just wondering if it's my friend Lucas McKinney or not, or just someone with the same name. I just got surprised. It's a college friend of mine.
Okay.
But I know he normally doesn't go by Lucas, so I'm thinking it's not, but interestingly the same name.
Yeah.
But the giveaway kit for today, do you have that there?
I do. I think we've given one of these away before. So very cool kit. I love the Master Grade Zaku Warrior. So it's just another variant. Ray's Aberell's version. So, which I think it was only in 2 episodes, if I remember correctly.
Your guess is better than mine, because I definitely don't remember at all. So
I think it was like in the first 2 episodes of Destiny. I could be wrong, and somebody might correct me, but I thought he switched to something else. But
Goof Ignited or something?
Yeah, I think so.
I don't know.
Yeah.
But it's definitely a kit now that I've got like 3 or 4 different versions of that kit. I'm literally looking forward to painting one of them once I'm all set up there. That'll be a fun one to paint one of those. After painting the Jin, because it's a very similar kit, right? And the Jin was a really fun kit to paint up. So I'm looking forward to taking a swipe at painting one of those Zaku Warriors sometime in the near future, hopefully. That'd be fun.
Yeah.
But yeah, very cool kit. If you guys have not seen my review, I've reviewed that kit. If you're interested, you can check that out as well. Yeah, we gave one away in, it must have been about a month or so ago, or maybe a little bit more, sometime in August maybe. But it's a very cool kit. So let's get to some questions here for today. Then over here on the Facebook page, first Zach said, not me, of course, different Zach. Do you anticipate Unleashed being a series or a one-off of the 40th anniversary of Gundam? This is a question I think we've had a couple times, but
yeah. I mean, I personally think it's just a marketing thing. Just like the revive kits technically were a remarketing slogan.
There was a series of those, but
well, they did them all within like a year and a half. If you look at all the revive when they were called revives, it was like in that year and a half time frame. So now every time they remake kits, they don't call them revives. Like if you look at all the Destiny that they remade, the Strike that they remade, they didn't call them revives. I'm trying to think of the high grade kit they just redid.
The Goof, Gun Cannon,
the Goof. Kublai was a revive, if I remember correctly.
Yeah.
Trying within like the last year. I don't know. But when
there was the Impulse, but that's a little bit more than a year. I'm drawing a blank. I know exactly what you're talking about, but
but like for example, the Impulse wasn't classified as a revive kit, even though it was a 2.0 kit for a high grade.
Yeah.
So I think it was just a marketing thing. But we'll see.
I would agree. I think it would be cool if they would make another Perfect Grade Unleashed. It'd be great if they made a Perfect Grade Unleashed Zaku 2 to go with the Gundam, like in a matching style. Or I think when we've talked about this before, I think it would be fitting for if they were to make a new Gundam PG to make it an Unleashed kit. Just to kind of an extra way to kind of fancy it up a bit, right? To make it, just by putting the Unleashed title on it, to make it seem like even cooler than just a standard PG. That'd be too boring. But yeah, I agree. I don't think it's going to be like a separate series on its own. I think it's probably just a one-off. Just for the Gundam. But here, let's see. Christopher said, do you believe that Bandai has abandoned the SD Cross Silhouette line, or will it return in the future?
I think it will return in the future. We thought they got rid of the SD or EXSD, SDEX.
SDEX,
and they brought 2 of those back. So I would be
surprised. 3 now, right? Because they had the new Gundam, the Nightingale, and now they're the Wing Gundam, right?
Yeah, the Wing Gundam. I forgot about the Wing Gundam. Yep. Which
is coming out, I think, this month, possibly, or something, right? It's not out yet, I believe.
Yep.
Or it just came out. Yeah.
Soon.
Yes. Very strange that, I mean, I don't know, I don't have access to Bandai's numbers to know this for sure, but I would imagine the SD Cross Silhouette line is probably one of the most popular SD lines that they've done. I think probably the current Sangokuden line that they're doing seems to be quite popular as well. But I mean, like as far as like standard design SD kits, comparing like EB Senshi and then like SDEX and SD Cross Silhouette, which I guess are kind of like the main SD lines. But I mean, SD Cross Silhouette seemed like a lot of people liked it. Even people who were not necessarily that into SD were like giving SD a try just because those kits were quite nice, myself included. And it seems weird why they would switch back to SD X standard, because it just didn't really seem like those were well liked by anyone. I'm sure a lot of people bought them because they were cheap, and I guess maybe that's the thing. They must be cheap to produce, and a lot of people buy them, especially kids. I would assume in Japan, a lot of kids buy them up because they're cheap. Parents buy them up for their kids. It's something you can go to the store and buy for like $6, $7, $8 in the store in Japan. So
Yeah, and I wonder if too it's easy to fit into a production
Mm,
line. It
mm,
doesn't take a lot of time to produce a bunch, and then it gives
right.
them more SKUs that they can come out with new items. So I wonder how much that plays into it.
Mm, yeah. So I don't know. Yeah, I would as to whether the line is abandoned for now. I don't know. I would kind of coin toss that because it very well could be, but hopefully not. Alex asked, "Do you think we'll ever get more G Gundam kits?"
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, I'm sure we will. I agree. Yes, just a matter of what kits and when.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's one we've talked about a lot too. There's a lot. I think just if they even like just stick to doing the same like Gundams that they always ever do, just like the God Gundam, the Shining Gundam, which is, it would be nice if they would do some of the other ones as just like HG kits would be nice. And I guess that's probably the most we could hope for. I'm not going to make like a master grade Bolt Gundam or anything like that. I think HG is what it would be if anything. But as far as like branching out into different lines, an RG God Gundam would be very nice.
Yeah.
PG, I just don't think G Gundam's popular enough for them to make a PG. Unfortunately, the high res is probably the most like high end God Gundam kit that they're gonna make. I would imagine. And speaking of which, actually, kind of related question. The next one here from Elliot: what suit are you hoping becomes a PG?
I'm hoping probably the new. I think the new, or even the Sinanju, I think would do very well as a perfect grade.
Sure.
Yep.
Yeah. Same. I mean, I would love to see a Shinanju. I mean, if we're just talking about just what we would like to see, honestly, probably some people are probably going to say this is kind of boring because there is already a PG Zaku, but I would kind of like to see an updated PG Zaku, if it's like Unleashed or whatever they end up calling it,
Right.
but just a newer, updated PG Zaku too would actually be very cool. Like something like the Sazabi, I actually kind of prefer the Shinanju personally. I think the Sazabi might be more likely, but they would have to make in RG they made the Sazabi first before the new Gundam in RG. So I mean they could do that, but I just don't think it'd be huge.
Yeah, I think it'd be
Ridiculously
too much.
expensive. Yeah.
I think that's kind of been the excuse not to make a high grade or a master grade Kshatriya. So I wonder, I mean, that would be a lot of plastic for a perfect grade Sazabi.
Yeah.
So.
And considering like everything that's in the Verka, it would basically just be like a scaled. I mean, I don't know what else they could do with it. I'm sure they could. I'm sure that it would be awesome, and they could make it like very cool. But it would essentially be like a scaled up Verka, aside from just like changing the design a little bit. Let's see. Kevin said, "Why is the use of all metallic paints on a Gundam build frowned upon in the community?" Oh, interesting question.
I don't know if it would be frowned upon.
I just want to clarify his question. I think he means like doing like a full metallic paint job.
I mean, I've seen ones. Well, I guess they've had like accent colors too in them, but I've seen a was it Gabera Tetra, like the pink red. I think it's called Gabera Tetra. I've seen that in like a metallic red, but they had like white accent like lines on it that looked really good. But I mean, I think honestly, I just think it's what people might see aesthetically pleasing to them. And maybe more people don't like that look. But I mean, honestly, if you like the look, who cares what other people think? So
yeah, I think that's probably the easiest way is if more people liked it, then you would see it more. It's just a matter of that. I think I don't know what the percent would be, but the majority of people prefer not to go like full metallic paint job. It's just a matter of personal preference. I think that's all it is. I don't think it's frowned upon at all. I think what he means is that it's not frowned upon, but it seems like something that a lot of people who are new to painting want to do. So it ends up a lot of times when you see like full metallic paint jobs, it's by people who are pretty new to painting. I don't really know how to describe it, but like, you know what
Yeah,
I
because
mean?
they'll look at like the colors, the metallic colors, and they'll assume that goes with mechs, maybe, and then
Mm,
kind of use that. Which I mean, you would think metal is,
mm.
everything's metal robots.
Yeah, I just it seems it's like a very beginner aesthetic. And I don't mean that in any sort of demeaning way. I mean, even if you're not a beginner and you like metallic paint jobs, I mean, whatever, that's fine.
Yeah.
It's not, but it's just like the people who we see like in the community who do gravitate towards wanting to do that particular painting style are usually people who are more on the beginner side of it. And it's just that, so maybe that's why you don't see kits that are like all metallic paint jobs being like held up by a lot of people in the community, just because they're usually done by people who are beginners, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, I think the Illuminati have invaded our.
Yeah, I might have to
Oh man.
delete comment. Okay. Anyway, but no, I don't think that they're frowned upon in the community. I think if you want to do it, do it. Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
Let's take Lucas's question here, because if he's still in the chat, he's still around. Lucas McKinney, who he confirmed in the chat that he's not my friend. Luke McKinney is different. Is there an older Gundam show that you guys would like to see redone in a newer art style? Personally, I would like to see War in the Pocket redone.
Yeah, War in the Pocket, that'd be kind of cool redone. I liked what they were doing with Origins, honestly, and it would have been cool for them to kind of just transition that into the the original Gundam show and maybe kind of give that a new revived look. Not to say that the old ones, horrible or anything like that, but it would be neat for them to kind of gravitate into that next. I think would be cool.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, it'd be cool to see War in the Pocket redone as it's like 6 episodes, something, right? As a series. It'd be cool to just see it redone as just a movie, but even as a movie, I don't know how long it would end up being in total. It might be still pretty short to even get to like 90 minutes. But something like that, as just like a 70-minute film or something like that, that's kind of short. I wouldn't mind if it was on the shorter side like that. But just as one thing, updated animation and just all as one movie, rather than separate episodes. That could be cool, yeah. But yeah, otherwise I agree. I would love if they would continue the style of the origin animation for the original series.
Because they had, when they came out with that RX-78, like the special edition Origins version Master Grade, they had an animation where it's stepping off of the but that truck never went into the series. So it's like they were planning on doing it and then just didn't do it, or they just did that maybe as a promo and just never did it.
I don't know. I would guess that it was just kind of a promotional video kind of thing.
Yeah.
But I don't know if it was ever maybe planned to be a part of something more. I don't know. I have to wonder that somebody there at least pitched the idea of, why don't we remake the original series in this art style? You got to know that there was people there working at Sunrise who wanted to do that.
Yeah,
of course, but Sunrise, at least for the time being, is saying no. But I don't know. And like some people will say like, oh, it doesn't need a remake, or I don't want to see them remake it. But I mean, like for me, at least, if they were to remake it, I wouldn't see it as like a replacement for the original. I would just see it as a separate, like just a new version where like the original is still good for what it is.
Right.
And it would still be, it's still watchable. Like it's just a totally different aesthetic.
I think it would bring also people that are new into anime that probably don't want to even watch the old anime style stuff in more into watching it because it'd be updated, new.
Yeah, totally. Yep. They should do it with Netflix or something.
No, not with Netflix.
Get some Netflix money in there. Then Sunrise will do it. Logan had an interesting question. What's the most fragile kit you've ever built? I'm thinking about this. I'm not sure.
Yeah, a lot of so fragile in the way of it falling apart would probably be some resin kits, and not it'd be more of like the dress up resin kits where you're switching out like the armor pieces for new resin detailed ones. Those tend to me anyways fall apart a little bit easier if the shelf is bumped or something like that. The pieces don't always fit just right, so sometimes you got to use plastic tack or something like that in them. But as far as like Bandai kit, just straight out the box,
for me, a couple master grades come to mind, but they're also ones that I built a long time ago. So it could have been just that, like, I was a very beginner at the time, but like the original 1.0 Faz, I remember that just being kind of no fun at all. It was just kind of a pain. And then the XS, the original XS, I remember just like trying to transform that and just like not having a good time.
Yeah, for me,
I'm not necessarily fragile though. It's just like such a mess of a kit.
I mean, well, I guess what I'm thinking for, more like back heavy kits that are hard to stand on, put on stands, might, kind of do that fall over thing more. But I don't know. Nothing really comes to mind when I think of like fragile. I think of like glass you touch it and just falls apart. I guess maybe that's just my mind not working right there.
Let's see if I get in here. William asked, any other models that you want to create for your store after the Apex one comes out?
Yeah, I've got a few ideas. Pretty much the Apex model kit is a way for us to figure out how the whole process works, from design to mold creating to injecting the molds and packaging. And, it's kind of our guinea pig for the whole process. And then obviously how well that does would then translate into actually maybe making a line of kits. So yeah, if you guys also on here or watch it later on, if you guys have ideas on kits that you would love getting made that no one else makes, or send us ideas. We'd love to hear them and see them.
Obviously not Gundam kits. You're
about
to get 1,000 emails. People ask you to make a Gundam kit or something.
No Gundam Bandai IP. Sunrise
original
IP.
mecha designs.
Yes, yes.
Like if you follow someone on Twitter or something who makes like some original mecha designs or someone, send Adam a suggestion.
Yeah, you can send that. And what's cool about it too is if you like a certain mecha designer that does artwork and stuff, there's always ways for people to us to reach out to them and license their design and things like that. So it's like I said, send stuff our way.
Yeah. What about making model kits of what was that? BattleBots, that old TV show. You remember that? Did you remember that?
I remember BattleBots.
Making model kits of some of those classic BattleBot designs. I gotta look. I'm sure there's some episodes of that on YouTube. There's everything.
Oh yeah, there's everything on YouTube. I found. I know we're getting off topic. We were talking about old Saturday morning cartoons here the other day, and I don't know if anyone remembers Dino Wars.
That's the one where it's like He-Man kind of thing, like they're like walking and talking, right? And they have like
I think it's Dino Wars. It might be called something else, but there's like the T-Rex and like the aliens came and put something on their head and were like mechanized. Pretty sure that was called Dino Wars. Now I'm gonna have to look.
I'm gonna look too. I remember that being like a toy line. I don't remember there being.
Yeah, Dino.
I remember this. I'll put it here up on the screen. It is tangent, but that's okay. Here, this one. I remember this like classic image because I had the
that's it.
T-Rex, I believe, which like we found at like a garage sale, so it like wasn't the full thing. But yeah, I had the toy T-Rex.
Yep, that's them right there. Yeah, Dino Wars.
Yeah. Is there like a new thing of that or something? Or it's just
No, we were just talking about old cartoons and
okay.
like that stuck out. And I think there's like 6 episodes or something like that. And so we tried to rewatch one. It was like horrible. But I
Then
remember
what's
as
the
a
one that
kid,
I'm thinking of? Maybe Dino Riders. Someone said in the chat. Let me see.
Dino Riders. That's it. Yep. Dino
Oh, that's what this
Riders.
one is.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
There you
Dino Riders. That's it. 100%.
go. Oh yeah. Oh, maybe it wasn't the T-Rex. Maybe it was the Triceratops. Yeah, it was the Triceratops
And
that I
like
had.
it
Now that
walked.
I
I
see
remember
it.
the toy. It walked and its head would go side to side as it walked. I'm old.
Yeah. This guy. Uh-huh.
Yep.
That was
That's
dope.
it.
Hmm. Then what's the one that I'm thinking of? It was a different cartoon.
I remember they
With
talked too, right? They spoke English and it
yeah.
was
There was like two.
Dino Saucers. Dino
Yes.
Saucers would be it.
I do remember that.
These are the cartoons we watched growing up, guys that are younger than us.
Yeah. That was awesome. And they had that one, the why would the Ankylosaurus was like a pig? I don't have no idea. But yeah, that was classic.
Good times.
Mm-hmm. Let's check that out. I think I did look that up a year or two ago. I looked if there was anything on YouTube for that, and there was some, and it was pretty cringe. It's pretty bad.
Yeah, but like when you're a kid, you're like, it's the greatest.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, of course. When you're a kid obsessed with dinosaurs, yeah, definitely. Anyway, all right. Let me switch over to YouTube community tab here. See what we got over there for us. What would you recommend for my first PG? The Unleashed, the Perfect Strike, or the Unicorn?
I would say out of those,
The Exia. That'd be my recommendation. Yeah.
Did you say Exia? Is that what you said?
Yeah, it would be my recommendation.
Yeah. Well, out of those 3 that he said, I guess the Perfect Strike, just because if you haven't built a perfect grade and you've built high grades and real grades and stuff, you're probably more used to posability of kits.
Yeah.
I mean, the Unicorn's not going to do anything; it's just going to sit there. And then the I don't know, Unleashed. I haven't built one, and I have no idea how intense and posable that is.
Yeah, it is. It's great. And even though I built it, I should remember offhand. I would assume that the Perfect Strike comes with a stand. For some reason I'm not remembering if it does or not, but it does.
Yeah, it does, and it's basically the original Strike perfect grade that has a few updated armor parts, and then
which are very nice. Yes,
and then it has the perfect pack, so you get like the sword, which originally was a P-Bandai set, if I remember correctly, that you had to get for the perfect grade Strike, and then if I remember correctly, it's the exact same P-Bandai set. So the only thing kind of new you're getting is those armor parts, and obviously it's not P-Bandai. So
yeah. The like Adam said, the Unicorn is cool, but it doesn't really do much. It just stands there and looks cool. So like if you're a big fan of the Unicorn, then yeah. And you definitely should get a LED set for that, which adds an extra $100, $120 onto that. So I mean, wouldn't really recommend that unless you're like really like the Unicorn. The Perfect Strike is great because you just have tons of stuff in the box. So much stuff with the whole perfect pack and everything. So many different ways you can configure that, which is cool if you like a lot of options. The Unleashed is just super cool because the way that it's constructed is super detailed, the layers of the frame and open hatches and everything. So it's a much in terms of all the extra stuff, there's not as much less than what you get with the Perfect Strike, but there's a lot more there. There's a lot more substance there. So it kind of just depends on what you're looking for. Honestly, though, the Exia is very cool if you get it with the LED set as well, which also is pretty expensive. But that one looks fantastic. Also has some open hatch gimmicks, and it has a base, which is also quite cool. Like the Perfect Strike base is very simple. It's just to hold it up. It doesn't really look like anything. The Exia's base actually looks cool as well. and it's very posable up on the base because it's not a very super heavy kit like the unicorn. And that's the problem with the unicorns, is it's too heavy.
Yeah.
Nexia is probably the most posable out of them all, which is nice. If you're gonna have that big kit, it's cool, in my opinion, to be able to put it in like a really cool pose. But I do love the unicorn kit as well, so I mean, just depends on what you're looking for. What's another full mechanics 100 scale design you would like to see from Gundam Seed after the Calamity?
Seed? What is it? The Abyss, I believe. I believe that's it. Gundam. I just typed in Abyss, and the Abyss Gundam, and then what's the green? Not the green one.
The Abyss is the blue one, right? With like the
what's the other water one?
Submersible, yeah. Not that big a fan of that one personally.
What's the one with the scythe?
Yeah, the green one, that would be the Forbidden Gundam.
Okay, is it Forbidden?
Right? I believe so.
You think I would know this, right? Or
I think so.
Yeah, Forbidden. So I just like both those designs are pretty similar with the backpack. Yeah. So I know there was a resin kit. I don't know if it ever came out, that was going to be for the Master Grade. It was going to, I think it was a Master Grade Freedom. It was going to change that into this. But I don't know if that ever got released. I'm sure Chris would know.
Yeah.
In the chat there, you might know.
I think that's a pretty good guess. Just because they went with an enemy mobile suit, it's probably likely that they will, if they are going to do, more, that they'll maybe do one or two more kind of like the enemy mobile suits for you to have in your collection to put up against like all the hero mobile suits they have out in the Master Grade line. Yeah. So that makes sense. Yeah. Possibly if they were to do like one of the grunts, but I would imagine it probably would be like the Forbidden or Abyss, something like that. Is a good guess. What would you think about the concept of Grunt Month, in which all of the releases will be mass-produced units?
That would be cool, honestly. I don't know if Bandai could do a month. Like
they don't really do that kind of thing.
Yeah,
unfortunately.
Right, but it'd be cool. But we've been getting a decent amount of grunt suits actually lately. I mean, the Zaku Warrior, I mean, is technically a grunt suit. The Jin is a grunt suit. I mean, they're not UC grunt suits like you would think of the Jim or Gunkin's not really. They have a mass production gun cannon, I guess, things like that. But they're making grunt suits.
There was the Dagger kit that came out as HG not too long ago as well, and then they've done. They haven't been like very. They've been kind of spread out over the past couple of years, but they've been working their way through getting some of the Alt Universe grunt suits out in the HG line, little by little, which is cool. I don't think the Bandai will ever do like any sort of theme month or something like that, or even year, any sort of theme like that for their production releases. It's hard enough to get them to like put out stuff that like is in correlation with the anniversary of anything other than the ARC 72. They did that like once for the anniversary of Gundam Seed when they did the Seed Master Grade line. But yeah, I think we've talked about that before. That was like a double reason, was that number one, it was the anniversary, and number two, they were putting out the new like Blu-ray set for that. So it's kind of a way to celebrate the anniversary. Buy the Blu-ray and some Master Grades. Blu-rays. Have you like heard about how crazy expensive Blu-rays and just even DVDs, CDs, everything is in Japan?
So not in Japan. I know that they've been doing things where they'll make these special Blu-ray packs here in the US. And the only one I bought was the Wing one. But you got like an art book with it. You got all sorts of crap with it. And it was like $400 some dollars or something like that. It was ridiculous.
Oh, really?
There's a Seed one and a Seed Destiny one. I think those are in the 300s though, but it's the same thing. You kind of get like an art book. I know the Japan had that, which it came here to the States. The was it perfect ability unicorn, and it was like 1,000 something, if I remember correctly. So yeah, it's just insane, some of the stuff.
No, like just every Blu-ray, DVD, CD, all that stuff in Japan is crazy expensive.
Which I'm surprised, honestly, that Blu-rays are still around. I think a lot more here, anyways. I mean, everything's going to digital. Like I haven't bought a DVD, Blu-ray, and I mean, other than that Wing thing in years. Everything I just download digitally and
sure, legally, of course.
Yes, pay for your stuff.
Yes, I bought a CD for like the first time in a few years. On not a physical CD, of course, but on iTunes for the first time in a few years, about a month or so ago. Been a long time since I'd bought any new music. Nakamura Emi, great Japanese singer.
Okay,
she's good. Any word on the 30-Minute Sisters pre-orders?
Yeah, they got them finally at I keep calling them Bandai, but Bluefin, I mean, basically it's Bandai now. So we should be getting them shipped out to us shortly. We got some of the armor pieces here. Actually, yesterday we got the lightning pack or the quick pack or something like that. The claws.
Yeah.
And then the body A, like but if you order
those,
it
seems like they made a ton of those, but not like the actual kit.
Right. Yeah. So
I think I told you about that, right? That I went to the Gundam base here and they had those option sets, but none of the actual kit.
Yeah. So, but I mean, we still have plenty. We do have plenty up for pre-order. Our allocation has not been sold out yet. So, yep. Which Bandai's doing a better job of letting us know exactly how many we're getting and not cutting us. So
I was gonna say they do the kits do, based on what I've seen, is obviously now I'm seeing like custom builds and painted builds and stuff from Japan on Twitter. They do seem nicer than I was expecting. So I'm pretty excited to check out the line. Speaking of Mecha Musume, though, I will say I am working on building this young lady up, the Astra Tamamo no Mai kit. There's a lot to build in this kit. So it's taking a little while, but building that up for review next week.
Get ours of those in soon.
It's very cool.
I'm excited for that one.
Yeah, it's really cool. All right, from Joshua here, he asked, do you think we'll be getting RGs of some of the weirder Eva designs from the rebuild films, like Unit 5 or Unit 13?
I think there's a possibility, yeah. I mean, pretty much all those.
Which one's Unit 5? Is that the green one with the 4 legs?
I think so.
That had like the big lance weapon that's only like at the near the beginning of the second movie, I want to say. Third movie?
Yep. I was about to say yes. I would think so, because most of those kits are exactly the same. You're just switching out the color for the armor, and the head is a little different.
But no, the 5 and the 13, yeah, both of those would be drastically different. They wouldn't really be able to reuse much of this for if they were to make either of those.
Is the 13?
That's the one with the 4 arms.
Yeah,
the arms that come out of the chest. Yeah.
I would be more willing to bet we'd see that one before we saw the 5.
Yeah,
and then definitely. We could see. Was it the mass production? Ava, was it 5 or 6?
The mass production Ava?
Yeah,
it doesn't have a number as far as I know. Yeah, it's just
the
one
with
mass production.
The wings, right? In the yeah, I could more see that maybe soon too if they kept doing the line, but I don't know. I don't know if they're gonna.
Yeah, that's another one that I think is probably more likely that the line is kind of done.
Yeah.
It would be cool. I think if they were to make anything else, I think it probably would be the 13. Because they seem to be going more for like rebuild designs, and the producing like the mass production Eva. I mean, going back to original series, end of Evangelion. I would love, because I love the mass production Eva design. I would love if they would make that. But yeah, I'm not sure. I think the 13 is more likely.
Yeah.
But this is not a question, but it was a question or just something that I want to throw in because it's also related to RGs. Since the Nightingale has come out and since the RG High New is coming out, I've been seeing this so much everywhere on YouTube and Facebook, everywhere. People wondering if we're going to be getting an RG Nightingale. I just want to say that I think there's 0% we're going to get an RG Nightingale. I don't know where the idea came from or why so many people are like even wondering if it's ever going to happen or when it's going to happen, or people thinking like, oh, I'm going to hold up on the HG just in case they make an RG. No.
Yeah, maybe 200 years from now when Bandai exhausted any other. Yeah, they're not going to make a high grade and then turn around and make a real grade, because then it would stop the sales of the high grade. Just from a business aspect, it makes no sense. So,
and just the size and the complexity and cost. I mean, think about it. The HG costs $80.
Well, that's why they did the in the RE form. Yeah, they didn't go master grade just because of that aspect too.
Right. Yeah. So yes, if you're one of those people that was thinking about the possibility of a RG Nightingale, I'm sorry to say that's just not going to happen. We can say with a good amount of certainty.
Yep.
All right. So, all right. Heavy Octane said, I'm not sure which one to get, Mark Setter or Mark Softer. Is Mark Softer really necessary? I just want to pen a line, apply water decals, and apply a bit of setter so it sticks and doesn't come out of place when he applies the matte coat.
Yeah. And you can correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure this is how they're used. So setter is basically a glue. Mm-hmm. So if your decals, so like Bandai decals, some decals come with like a film, like a glue film already on the decal. If it doesn't have that, that's when you kind of want to use the setter, from my understanding. Am I correct in saying that, Zach?
As far as I know, pretty much any waterside decals, the adhesive is part of the decal. So
right. And the softer is more to make the decal like mold over things into like lines. And so if you're panel lining and you're putting a decal over the panel line, the setter or the softer chemically melts the decal a little bit to where it will fold into those and adhere, and not adhere, but fold into those crevices and corners and turns more, from my understanding.
Yeah, that's all. Yeah. Honestly, like 95% of the time I don't use setter, I only use softer, but I use softer every time basically. So I would say if you only want to get one, I would get softer, because as far as I know, all decals all have a adhesive with them, and I've never really had a problem of that like built-in adhesive not being enough. But I mean, if you just want to be safe, you could get some setter on there as well. For me, in my experience, I've just not really felt that much of a need for it. But softer works really well because, like you're saying, it basically melts the decal. So even on like a flat surface, softer will just help the decal to be even more flat.
Yeah.
So yeah, and especially if it's over a recessed detail, like a panel line or just any sort of recessed area, it'll melt the decal down to sink into there. Or over a curved surface, you definitely are going to want to have some of that. So yeah, setter is, at least in my experience, much more useful. Softer, sorry.
Softer, yeah.
Softer.
Yep. Plus too, if you're clear coating your kit after the decals, that'll help set them in too. So
yeah,
you don't really need a glue.
That will protect them. Yeah. Mm-hmm. especially if you're using Bandai decals. I think, like I said, I do think they all kind of have adhesive with them, but the Bandai decals are particularly sticky. Yeah.
Yes, they are.
Will Adam and Zach ever do a live stream of you guys building together? That's an interesting idea.
Yeah, we should. It'd be fun.
Maybe we will. Do you think Bandai will produce more Iron Man suits?
So
Bandai hasn't done any Iron Man suits.
No, Bandai has not done any Iron Man suits. A company called Eastern Model has made the Iron Man model kits. And yes, I think that they will make more. They're coming up with an Iron Spider, and they are fully licensed kits through Disney, which is cool. So I think that they would continue that trend, with the green light from them. So,
yeah, I mean, who knows? But I wouldn't foresee Bandai picking up that IP to make it.
No. Oh, I mean, they're doing Batman. So.
Oh, really? I don't know.
Yeah, they've got the Batmobiles. They're coming out with 3.
Oh, yeah, right.
Mobiles, and they have that figurized standard. They've only shown the silhouette for the bat for it, and it looks like the Batman that fought Superman, kind of in that heavy armor. But we're not 100% sure because we've only seen the silhouette. So.
Okay. Well, yeah. There's that.
Maybe. Who knows?
It may be something where kind of similar like with the Star Wars kits where they like couldn't do like the actor likenesses,
right?
Like only the vehicles and like suits and stuff. Anyway, let's see. Okay, what was the one I was going to read? Here it is. What's the biggest mobile suit, mobile armor, mobile suit, or after you could reasonably see Bandai putting out as a 1/44 scale kit? So like
the first half of that question.
So like, what's the biggest thing you think Bandai would make in 1/44 scale? So like the Dendrobium and like the Neo Zeon would be the biggest ones out at the moment.
I don't see anything bigger than that.
Yeah.
Honestly, but let's just say they made something bigger. God, I don't even know.
Yeah, I don't even know like the exact size of certain things. I know like there's that one in Seed Destiny, right? The Destroy Gundam, I think it is, that I think a lot of people would be stoked about. I don't know exactly how big that is though.
That would be huge. Because, well, I mean, it would be. So if you think of the Freedom, when the Freedom destroyed it, the whole Freedom top to bottom was about the size of the torso.
Yeah.
So I mean, that would be a huge.
I mean, I don't know. Considering the size of the Neo Zeon, though, I think it's possible.
Yeah.
People in there in the chat also mentioned the Big Zam, which I think is that actually is, I think, possible.
Yeah.
That Bandai will make a Big Zam. It's kind of actually surprising they haven't made a larger Big Zam kit at this point already.
They have that 1/1200th one, right?
Yeah, that really old.
Yeah.
80s kit. It's quite super small.
Yeah. They could do that, and they could do the Destroy. It'd be about 5 feet tall, I would think.
Yeah.
Yeah, it would have. I would think maybe 4.5. I don't know.
Be big anyway.
Right. Destroy Gundam would be about the same, wouldn't it? Not Destroy. Yeah. No, we're talking about Destroy. The oh crap. The UC basically variant version of that. I'm drawing a blank.
Not the Psycho Gundam.
Yeah, Psycho Gundam. How big would that be? That would be.
They have that in 1/44 scale already. The HD Psycho Gundam.
They do. I'm thinking a master version for that.
Oh, yeah, we're talking 1/44 scale.
Yeah. So yeah, no, the Destroy Gundam would be about 4 feet.
Yeah, I think the Destroy Gundam, I mean, would be possible considering the size of the Neo Zeon and the Dendrobium. Another one, though, someone mentioned here, what was that? The Obsolist. Yeah, I would love if they would make an Obsolist guy. I think that's much less likely, but I would love that. Let's see.
1/400th was a Big Zam. Thanks, Nacho Man.
Yeah. There's some big ones. I'm not that big of a fan of the design personally, the Shamblo from Unicorn, but I could see them possibly making that. I mean, if they made the Neo's Young, didn't have quite as big of a role in the story, I guess, as the Neo's Young, but
Right.
it was a big mobile suit. At least played a big part in one episode.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't think that they would actually ever make that.
No, I'd be surprised if they make any big suits anytime soon. To be honest, too, just with
HG, yeah.
their production capacity
Hmm.
and how much time and machines those would take up.
Considering in like 20-ish years of HGUC line, they've made 2. So you reckon they make one giant HG kit every 10 years. So sometime within the next 10 years, I guess that's something you can look forward to. Maybe it'll be the big Zam.
Chris
I would hope
just
so.
sent me a picture of looks like a 1/100 destroy Gundam. Yeah.
Okay.
But
In
it doesn't have the height. It doesn't have the size on it, Chris. But it looks pretty cool.
Like a resin kit or a paper craft?
I don't know. I don't know if this is a from Hammercat. So yeah, it would be a resin kit.
He sent it to me too. I just didn't check it. Yeah, I have seen. I think I have.
Nah.
I remember seeing something about this before. 1/100 scale. I mean, no way. That'd have to be like the size of the 1/35 XS.
I'm telling you, for that,
huge.
it would have to be. It's at least 4 feet tall.
Yeah.
But,
gigantic.
Yeah, which is hard to get the scale from that picture, but
anyway.
Yep.
Right.
Interesting question.
Have you been watching the What If series?
I've seen the first episode and a half, and then everywhere on Facebook and everywhere has been the dang Watcher and the Ultraman fighting each other. So I've seen probably that entire fight just from different clips. So
just because this question is related to that and I haven't seen it, but I think I know what it's talking about. It says, do you think Bandai will give Tony Stark's world most expensive Gundam kit from What If a model?
It would.
I remember seeing something posted about that line.
Yeah. So here's the thing, right? So Gundam is a registered trademark of Sotsu, who is Sunrise or Bandai. So in order for Disney to even say that, I think they would have had to have gotten permission from them, unless I'm wrong. But I'm pretty sure they would have had to have gotten permission to have that in there. So would there be a model kit of it? I think it would be cool. Do I think there would be one? No.
Yeah. Here's an easy one. Now that we finally know about the Dom, the 1.5 Dom and Rick Dom coming out, are you looking forward to that?
I am. I mean, I like the Dom and the Rick Dom. I'm just trying to see from the pictures what is different on them, because it originally came out that it would be a 1.5. I remember when they did the first marketing of it, they said Dom Rick Dom 1.5 version. That was specifically from Bandai. Now they've gotten rid of that 1.5 on everything. It doesn't even say that anymore. So I'm trying to look at the old CGI image that they had of it to these new CGI images and trying to see what's different. I don't see a lot different.
It's mostly on the inside.
Yeah. So it makes me wonder now if they actually because they're not even calling it a 2.0. It's literally just Master Grade Dom, Master Grade Rick Dom. So
yeah. I mean, based on just the new parts that they made for the Dodge, it's mostly stuff on the inside, so there won't really be that much different on the outside of it, really.
Yeah.
But it'll be a lot better to pose, which will be nice. So, Adaris had a question here. Tamiya recently began selling their lacquers in addition to their existing acrylics in the US. Do you think we're ever going to get their line of enamels? Do you not have Tamiya enamels there?
No. It's super hard.
Good thing I'm bringing mine then.
Yeah, bring yours. And I don't know why, because we have enamel paints and model paints here in the US. But all my suppliers for Tamiya do not have them.
That's weird.
And we don't have the lacquer versions yet, but the lacquer versions are up for pre-order on our distributor sites, so those will be coming. But the enamels, I don't know the answer to that or why we have such a hard time here in the US getting them.
T-Bird here is asking about a number of kits that he has on pre-order. So you can just give me a quick answer as if you know about the status of a few of these. The Neo's Young?
No word, to be honest.
Okay.
We sent an email about those if you wanted to hold on to your pre-order. They're supposed to make them. We got the word from Bandai a year and change ago. It was before COVID. And then COVID hit, and then they like scrapped like a whole bunch of stuff that was in production. And then because I think they had sent most of their workers home, they had to
at the beginning,
a lot of stuff off of production. But no, we sent an email. If you want to hold on to it, you're more than welcome to. Tells us we'll get them in soon. If not, I mean, we can definitely refund you, no problem.
He also asked about the Sutara Kanashiya Ganesha kit, the big Megami device kit. I assume that must be on the way if you have the new Asura kit on the way.
I mean, we got some of them in, so we're just waiting on. So we ordered directly from Japan now through Kotobukiya. We don't. We still are getting some orders that we had ordered a long time ago from the American, like Koto company, but they're not really Kotobukiya. They're just someone that distributes for them. And so we're waiting on that pallet and stuff from that, kind of when we did that divide and stopped ordering from them or from Japan. So the Japan orders are flowing in, but we did get some of them. So if he hasn't gotten it yet, he probably was a later pre-order, and we'll have it out for him soon.
Okay. That's another big one.
Yeah. I remember when that one, because they originally came out with the one that didn't have all that, and then they remade it with that, and they remade it without all the.
Well, there's the two different options of that. One that's the full set, and one that's just the new parts. Yeah. Would you prefer a new Gundam series or full-length movies?
Series.
Yeah, you like watching opening and ending songs again and again and again.
It lasts longer. The story. Anyways, you're getting mostly, if it's a series, it's at least 50 episodes usually now. Anyways, not probably. So at least you're getting 30 minute, probably 20 something minute of actual Gundam storyline versus a 90-minute movie.
Yes, I get what you're saying, but it depends on what they do with the series, because a lot of times then the series can basically turn into like just every episode, so there's like a cycle, right? It's very episodic, right? By nature.
A good way maybe to look at it is the Unicorn. They did them as movies, which I thought was good. Like if they do it like that, then because there's 5 movies, all of them are very well done, and then they made it into a series, which was 50 episodes,
which was bad.
Yeah.
I didn't like how they re-edited it,
but no. So if they do the movies like they did the Unicorn, I'm good for it. If they do it where it's just one and done. Like Hathaway's Flash, there's another one coming. There's supposed to be 2 more coming, so I'm fine with that because there's more to it. If it's just like a one and done 90-minute thing, I mean, it's Gundam, so I'll watch it, but I would like more. I like watching stuff, so I would like to watch more than less.
Yeah, I guess it depends. I think it's. I mean, I can just assume it's possible that they could make just a single movie and make it really good. But yeah, it would just depend on the story. I mean, I'm sure it's possible to make a really well-written single movie thing. I would have loved if they would have made Twilight Axis as like something a little more than what it
Yeah.
was. The way they released that was like such a mess.
Yeah.
I would have loved if that would have been like just a full movie.
Yep.
But yeah, there's some, but like some series like Stardust Memory is a good one. That's a good example of how it doesn't feel like just a very episodic, like every episode there's a new bad guy to fight, then rinse and repeat every new episode. That's one that does have like a really nice story flow throughout the entire series. So that's a good example of a good series. But yeah, I kind of prefer like the unicorn format. Yeah, I think it's a good kind of mix of the two.
Right. Yeah, I think that is kind of like the perfect storm.
Good.
I guess.
Middle ground. Yeah.
Yeah.
Astray GT had a question here. What mobile suit or Gundam would look best in a monotone color scheme?
What Gundam would look best in a monotone color scheme?
I find this question interesting because the first thing that comes to mind actually is the Astray Gundam.
Yeah.
Which is normally kind of in a monotone because it's usually like white and red or white and blue. But like I've seen it done a couple times, and it's something that I've always wanted to do myself, is to actually paint it just like all in just like white and gray, without any like other colors. Just like multiple tones of gray, and something I think the Astray does look really cool, just like all different gray tones.
There was a someone did one with like a Zoid, had the Zoid like backpack cannons from the Liger on it. That was all done in gray monotone. That looked really good. I mean, there's Seed did that when the deactivated modes.
Yeah, sure, right,
yeah. You know, those all look pretty. I mean, fine. I think if you're doing, I mean, grays look best if you're trying to do it in like one solid like. I mean, most of your Xeon kits too are monotone, though.
Yeah, I was gonna say like the Zaku 2, that's monotone. Zaku 2, Shard Zaku 2, those are.
Yeah, so I mean, you can do it extremely well for. I mean, there's tons of ones that are already that way, I guess.
Yeah. The Gelgu as well. Gelgu, Shard's Gelgu.
Oh yeah, anything already. Monotone and red.
What do you think would be the most cursed kitbash combo? I gotta say the new Insazabi, that's gotta be the most ugly HG that they've come out with in a long time, in my opinion.
Yeah.
What was that called? What was the name of that?
Insazabi?
That red kit, yeah.
Yeah, oh, crap. What was it called?
It was
the new Xeon. Xeon?
Something like that. Yeah, I think that might be right. Such an ugly looking kit.
New Xeon. Yep. V Xeon or New Xeon RX 04 Gundam. Yeah, that looked like somebody ate both of them and shit that out. Sorry for any kids watching.
it was bad. Yeah. And it sucks because I think that it is an interesting idea, but that was like the worst outcome of that idea.
Yeah.
But here's one kind of a little bit totally different. Do you guys experience joint pain while building kits? If so, what do you do about it?
I don't think usually if I would just probably stop for a little bit and then go back to it later. I haven't really experienced that. Hopefully, I'm sure I will as I get older and older and my fingers start to corrode, I guess. I don't know what a good word for that is. Fall apart on me. But I mean, I'm sure there's vitamins and stuff. What is it? Fish oil and things like that. I don't know what glucosamine chondroitin, right? That's what you're supposed to take for joints. So if you're, I guess watching this, take that. So when you're older, you don't have joint pain.
Fingers crossed there's like some stem cell research in the future that will just be able to cure that.
Yeah.
No, for me, I like my fingers get kind of so it's not joint pain, but it's just like my fingers get raw, like especially like my finger and thumb from holding the pieces, especially when like it gets I mean, just you have like a lot of little pieces and stuff that you're holding while you're removing nubs and stuff. So like my fingers just get kind of raw.
Yeah.
So if I just like go like a few days or like a week or so, where I'm just like snap building a ton of kits, then yeah, it kind of wears my fingers out on this hand. But like joint pain, no. I have a bad neck. So like if I'm sitting in like an uncomfortable chair or like hunched over position or something like that for like a couple days, and I get this actually if I do a lot of painting in a short period of time, because I think like the way that I sit when I paint is different from the way that I'm normally like hunched over building or like editing or something like that. But like when I'm painting, for whatever reason, I don't know why, I just like naturally sit very straight when I do a painting. So I think it's just like somehow bad for my neck. But in that case, I get like physical therapy. Here, if it gets bad, get some like painkiller, muscle relaxer.
There you go.
Yeah. And yeah, try to just rest. Don't do that thing that's causing the pain for too long if you know that it normally does that or whatever. I try not to push myself because I know what will like set it off. But gotta do what you gotta do sometimes.
Yeah.
Let's see. With the 1.5 Diamond coming out, do you think that there'll be a P-Bandai 1.5 Char's Rickdom? Chad asked.
Probably. I would.
Yeah.
If they did a P-Bandai, I mean that would be the one they'd do. So
yeah,
I would think.
Sure. Yeah, I think if they're going to make that all, it's not going to be a standard release thing. That is something they would. I would say they're either not going to make it at all, or it'll be P-Bandai.
Yeah.
What do you get weapons for Gundam? I don't really know what that necessarily means, but I'll just alter the question a little bit to ask: do you think the Bandai's ever going to make like weapon option sets in 1/100 scale?
No.
No. Yeah.
No, I'd be surprised if they
Mhm.
did. They've not done it for so long that I don't ever see them doing it.
Yeah, I agree. It's something that I've seen people like that question brought up from time to time, and yeah, I think it would be cool. But I mean, I think there's just so much variety with HGs. I mean, most HGs generally have about like the same size like grip.
Yeah.
For most of them, so I think there's a lot more compatibility, and there's a lot more 144 scale kits in general. 1/100 scale kits, there's a fraction of them available, so and a wide variety of different hands and stuff that they use. So I mean, just kind of it would be hard for them to make anything that would be easily compatible with a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
Let's see. Any chance you guys are going to carry mission model paints?
Not anytime soon.
Okay. Do you prefer pre-shade? Do you prefer to pre-shade or post-shade when it comes to doing custom paint?
Or no shading? It depends on what I'm doing. Usually I pre-shade stuff though. Usually it's way easier and less time consuming.
If I do any shading at all, I more often than not just opt not to do any at all. But if I do some, I find post shading more easy, which is actually just highlighting.
Yeah.
I just find that simpler to do. You don't have to worry because with the pre-shading, I find it difficult, and maybe it's just me, but I find it difficult to do pre-shading because it's very difficult to then when you're painting the main color on top of that to not paint too much to basically completely cover up the pre-shading and make it like completely invisible. I find that difficult to do.
Yeah, a lot of people use black when they pre-shade. I just use a dark gray.
Yeah, it depends on what the main color is, right?
Yeah, well, yes and no. I've done gray for I think probably all of it, honestly, like a darker gray that's kind of in, a little bit on the not halfway from white to black, but maybe more 60% black, 40% white. I like the way it looks when I do it. It doesn't I don't have to color anymore. I just do the same then kind of, whatever color I'm painting over it, the same amount on every piece, and it usually is usually is okay, and maybe once or twice I've had to restart on a part, but usually that's just because I didn't put the pre-shading properly on the kit, and I was like, yeah, let's just see how this looks instead of redoing it then. But try different things, see what you like.
Yeah, just see what you're more comfortable with.
Yeah,
I don't know, just the way, and it could just be like my lighting, could be that I'm painting and it makes it kind of harder to see or something, but just for whatever reason, like the handful of times that I've tried pre-shading, I just had a hard time doing it. It's very easy for me, I found, to just completely cover it up. So post shading, which is like I said, is highlighting, is much easier for me because it's easier to see what I'm doing. But interesting. There's a lot, and that's just like thinking of like the couple of most common ways to do that. There's like a number of different ways that you can do pre-shading, post-shading, whatever, in different ways, using different colors to simulate shading and all that. But let's see. We'll maybe let me get one or two more here, then we'll get to our giveaway here for today. Are you excited about upcoming Zoids stock? And have you built one before? Yeah.
I am excited, and I have never built a Zoid kit before. So,
yes. Yeah. So, are you planning to try out one of the HMM kits at any time?
Yeah, when we get them in, I'll definitely put one together. Just do a straight build, and then I'll probably go on display in the storefront. But yeah, I'm pretty excited about it because I built more complex Kotobukiya kits, like their Metal Gear kits. I think I built everything except the Ray. The Metal Gear Ray I haven't built, but and those got a lot of parts in them. And from my understanding, the Zoid kits have a lot of kits parts too. So depending on which one it is.
Yeah, kind of comparable to that. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, excited.
Yeah, they're. I mean, like I said, the inner frame on them is quite complex. So it's kind of like building a very detailed master grade kit.
Nice.
So yeah, they're a lot of fun. They take quite a while to put together. So I mean, they're big boxes. I mean, you've seen those. So there's a lot of parts. There's also a lot of plastic. All right, so let's get Corey's here for maybe the last question for now. He said, "What's the most orders you packed in a single day?" Any idea?
It was over 2,000. It was when, what pre-order came in?
And like this year?
No, not this year. The real grade high new, if we can pack them all, we'll blow that out of the water. Because we've sold all those and we've got way more than that coming in. I forget it might have been the real grade Sotheby. Yeah, it might have been the real grade Sotheby. When those came in, we basically just printed. Anyone that ordered just that kit, we're able to print all the labels because it doesn't matter. Nothing else is going in with that kit because they only ordered just that on their order. So it's easier to pack those up because you just print all the labels, and then you can make basically an assembly line of people putting it all together and just someone at the end just sticking on labels. Whereas when you've got that with other kits, well, then you got to go through the process of picking them, and it's a little bit longer. But I believe it was that, and it was over 2,000 for sure.
That's crazy.
Yeah. And then Christmas time's always fun, but Christmas time will usually can get out about 1,000 to 1,500 depending on what's ordered. And we're talking like, I guess, Thanksgiving, the day after Thanksgiving, Black Friday. But usually those orders are multiple different kits. So it's takes a little bit longer to get those out, but yeah.
I have a question for you. Before we get to the picking the winner for the giveaway, actually, is how often, or if ever, does it happen that you have an order that like one of the pickers is going to get the stuff for the item, and you suddenly find that one item is supposed to be there and it's not there? You can't find it like anywhere, or it's in like the wrong place or something. But
it happens. Probably, I mean, this is going to sound really bad, but out of the hundreds of orders we do every day, it probably happens at least once a week And it can happen it used to happen a lot more, but we've paid more for better systems and better inventory tracking. And when you work in warehouses, you have people count locations every day for different items to make sure that what your computer says is there is actually there. I mean, it can be off because somebody grabs it, walks somewhere else, thinks they remember where that came from, and sets it down in the wrong spot. That happens a lot. Or they're supposed to walk, or they have a cart, and they push that cart around and they scan the items. It tells them what tote to put the item in to go to what order. So if they're walking around, they don't bring their cart with them, and they're kind of holding it, and they're grabbing like 2 or 3 items, and they're just telling the system that they're scanning when they're not really scanning. And then they set something down so a lot of it's training.
Sure. It's human error.
Yeah, but at least, I mean, it probably happens once a week where they go there and it's not in this location, and then you got to kind of figure out, okay, are we actually out of this? Did someone put it down in the wrong spot? When we received it and they put it away, did they actually put it away in the right spot they said they were putting it? That'll happen too, where our shelves are labeled, so you have bays, and each bay has shelves, so your shelves will be labeled, like if the bay is on aisle A and it's the first shelf, so it'd be A1, and then the shelf 1 would be A11. So if they say they put it on A11 and they put it on A14, well, now technically I just had to look up, but they're looking, okay, it's not on A1.
Yeah.
They're trained just to go find somebody, and then the manager or me or whoever helps them try to find out what happened, where the item's at. But those are fun times. So then you're kind of like, okay.
Yeah. I mean, like, that's why I ask, because of like the computer inventory system and whatever. I'm sure it doesn't happen that often, but I mean, stuff happens.
Oh yeah,
it happens from time to time.
Yeah, and it's the system doesn't mess up. Unfortunately it's human error. We tell the system it's somewhere, or we grabbed something without telling the system we grabbed it, type thing.
Nope. All right, let's do this giveaway here. So first we'll draw the platform. 1 will be Instagram, 2 is YouTube, 3 is Facebook.
Yeah.
2 YouTube, where we had 143. 3, give me a 2 again. Let's go. 48. Okay, not so bad. All right, so head over to YouTube, and I'm gonna count 48 down. I'll go ahead and do that. If you guys want to put any questions,
put questions
there in
the chat, and I will answer them. So Andrew Vegas, cycle counting is a pain in the beep, and yes, it does suck, but it is important to do. So Howard asks, what is the best-selling gunpla? Let's take a look and see what the best one this year so far has been. So this year, our best-selling Gundam kit, it's probably going to be one of the new kits. I would assume like Real Grade High New. It is, yep. So the Real Grade High New is the best-selling kit this year. The second best is the Master Grade Wing Zero Verka. And the third is, I don't know, because the rest of it's tools. It gives me like the top 10 items on this little form. So our best-selling item is the USA Gundam Nippers. So make sure to get that. And then our part separator is the second best-selling item this year. So pretty cool stuff. Yep, you're good. All righty. That was fast.
Quick one. Yeah, a little bit quicker. It would have been nice if it was 2. 48's not too bad.
Yeah.
And it's right under a Stray GT. It's going to be Rob to Builder.
Yay! Congratulations.
There you go, Rob.
Yes.
His question was, is there any plans on carrying Gundam manga or series DVDs? Interesting question there.
Yeah, so I looked into that a long time ago and then just didn't look into it anymore. But yeah, I mean, that's something that you would think USA Gundam Store would have. So yeah, we could have that in the future.
Well, like you said before, I don't know if DVDs maybe would be cool to have some in stock, but I just don't think many people would be that interested in buying. Manga, I think, would probably be a little bit more popular, at least.
Yeah. Yeah, I would think mangas would be better. And then you kind of go into, does it make sense just to carry the one line, that one, just Gundam manga? Would people really, are people more
Yeah,
willing to buy
could
that?
expand. Yeah.
Yeah. Would people more willing to buy Gundam manga with other mangas? So now you have to have good
Everything.
variety to bring
Yeah.
people in that, the clientele
Yeah.
that would buy that are people that buying Gundam models actually going to buy and read the manga too.
Mhm.
I don't know if they would or not. So
Yeah. Well, Jordan there in the chat said Gundam Blu-rays are the only physical media he's purchased in years. So, I mean, even if they don't typically buy
yeah,
Blu-ray stuff, I mean, maybe they would if it's available. Gundam stuff. There you go. Maybe.
forever physical.
Yeah. So yes, congratulations,
Yeah.
Rob.
Rob. Yep.
Yes.
So send us a email to support@usagundamstore.com, letting us know what address you want us to send it to, and just a picture. I believe it was YouTube, if I remember correctly,
Yeah.
of just you logged into your YouTube account, so proving that it is you, and then we'll get that out to you. And congratulations.
Yeah. Very cool.
Very, very cool.
And Tamiz saying that Barnes & Noble carries a Thunderbolt. I would imagine Barnes & Noble probably carries some Gundam manga. Yeah.
Yeah.
That makes sense. But it is a cool idea. And
Yeah.
so certainly something to look into, I suppose. The problem I've always thought of when it comes to ordering manga is international shipping. But I guess for if you're in the US,
Yeah.
it's not so bad. Because sending books, just they're
Right.
heavy, so shipping's pretty expensive on them normally. But
The U.S. has something called media mail, where it's like $1 to ship a book.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so that's
nice.
pretty cool. Yeah, so
Should be good. Because that is something that I would actually like to buy some more manga. But the reason I don't here is because obviously here in Korea, it's not much English, so I'd have to order it from America, and then just international shipping and all that. But once I'm actually there, it is something that I would like to read some more manga.
And Rudolph asked, "Is the Rage Nuclean backpack compatible with a Masquerade New?" It is with the new Verka. That's literally what it was designed to go onto. So
with the old and new though, it wouldn't be.
No.
Yeah. You'd have to modify that. And also just like stylistically, it wouldn't be a very good match, I would imagine.
And it fits on all the seed kits. It was so all the seed kits have that same backpack connector, and it will fit in with all those. There's a part in there with it for those.
Yep. All right. That is going to be it for today, guys. Oh, Rob's in the chat. There you go.
Rob is in there. Hey, congratulations, Rob.
I don't know if he's been there. That delayed response makes me think that maybe one of his friends was watching or something and texted him, "Hey, check out the show."
Or he got the notification that you texted him that he won. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. That could be it too. Yeah, I did already comment on there. So there you go. Anyway, congratulations, Rob.
Yes.
But yes, so that is going to be it for today, guys. We'll have the next episode will be in 2 weeks' time. Hopefully at that time, I know we've been promising this for a long time that we'll be announcing the next contest. Hopefully at that time we can announce the next contest for you guys.
I'd be surprised if we couldn't. We should be able to.
Yeah. Some of you have been asking, and yeah, so hopefully in 2 weeks' time of the next episode we can let you guys know about that. And anything else for today, Adam?
No, just thank you guys so much for all your support. Thank you guys for all your patience. Thank you for being on this channel. I mean, without you guys and all our customers, we could not do this, and we could not do what we love to do. So, thank you guys so much for all your patronage. Appreciate it.
Yep, exactly. And thank you guys for hanging out today with us. We'll see y'all next time.